Do you have an inner critic that keeps popping up to sabotage your very best efforts? Maybe it's a voice that says, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, right? You're never going to be good enough, you're not capable of this. Maybe it's a part of you that is really trying to get it perfect, right? And constantly and relentlessly trying to do that. Maybe it's a part of you that just feels like, man, sooner or later, they're going to find me out, right? They're going to see me for who I really am. And then, the jig is up, so to speak. I want you to imagine for a moment that that voice was gone. And in its place was support and care, or just quietude. Can you imagine what it would be like to be inside of yourself, but two, what would be possible for you in your life without that voice constantly harassing you, draining your energy, taking up your headspace, hijacking your thoughts, and sabotaging you at the least convenient moments? Now, I've learned a few things that don't work, and I definitely want to share those with you because they're things that so many people try and do. One, shouting down that voice, trying to shout down those voices and going to battle with them, right? Really fighting against it because what are you doing? Well, at the end of the day, you're at war with yourself. And so you're creating more and more inner conflict, more and more inner chatter. And maybe it might quiet down for a little bit, but then something kind of creeps up and then you try to beat it down, right? And all of a sudden you're just like, you're having a battle inside of your own head and your own heart. That's not going to work. At very best, what's going to happen is you'll subdue your opponent for a little while, which is you, by the way. You'll subdue that opponent, and then they'll rest and restore, wait for their moment, come back in full force. Now, secondly, is just trying to wallpaper over it, like just trying to stuff that into the corner and think positive thoughts and think positive thoughts and think positive thoughts. And if you do that enough, right, then those will take over and then the other ones will go away. It's not true, right? What'll happen is they'll get stuffed away. You'll make a little progress, right? You'll feel a little bit better because your thoughts are shifting. It's a really long way to go about it, but ultimately those parts get stuffed away. They never really get healed. And then they come out at the worst possible moment in a different iteration, right? So also not really productive. But things that do work, I definitely want to talk about this because it's important to know where that's coming from. It's coming from a place that feels unworthy, undeserving, unloved, right? Or unlovable. Some of those deep wounds that we carry throughout our lives. And healing those things, right? That voice of criticism, right? It comes from traumas as well. Trying to keep ourselves safe in the world to get the right answers and do the right things so that you can be okay, right? Be safe and try to carve out a life and get the things that you want out of life. So it's coming from this wounded place. First and foremost is understanding where that's coming from, to recognize that yes, your mind is doing that, but it's doing that because there's a place inside of you that needs healing. Now, secondly, is a little more practical, is understanding that these are different aspects of you. If you treat them as the enemy, all you're doing is alienating yourself. You're fractioning off or factioning off part of yourself and creating enemies inside of yourself. That is not a path to healing. And it's not a path to resolution, and it doesn't really ultimately help you in the outcome for all the reasons that I mentioned before. But what does work is really treating that as like a different aspect of yourself and having a conversation with that part of yourself, kind of like you would have a conversation with somebody in your life, your own best friend, for example, right? Seems simple enough, but think about it. If you talk to your friends the way that you talk to yourself, how long would they be your friends? If you parented a child the way that you talk to yourself, what would that child grow up as? And it's the important part to see here is that it's a relationship. It's a relationship that's happening inside of you. And the deeper layers of the unworthiness, the undeservedness, the unlovable, the I'm going to be rejected, right? Those are the things that really need to be healed. I believe that this is truly one of the most important conversations that we can be having about personal healing, about how we show up in the world, because the world needs more people at their very best. And you're not going to be able to really stand for what you believe in the world and affect positive change if you're constantly battling with yourself. And if you're seeing this right now, I know that there are positive changes that you want to see in your own life and that you want to see in the world at large. And you need the resources and the confidence and the ability to step into that. That's why I believe this conversation is so important. So what I invite you to do is comment below. Like, let's keep the conversation going. Tell me, what goes on inside of your head. If there's something that you need help with, or you got a question, or if you just want to share, what landed for you and keep the conversation going, maybe contribute something to that. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Like I said, I really believe this is that important. I'd love to hear it. And my name's Nick. I'm the Mystic Next Door. I'm the creator of A Course in Self-Love, a truly revolutionary and comprehensive self-love course that changes your life. Love to hear what you have to say about it. All right. Looking forward to see you in the next video. Peace.